Well, welcome folks to another episode of Whitebeard's Kitchen. What I'm going to do this evening is a white korma, used chicken. I might even throw in a few prawns just to bulk it out a wee bit because I might have guests coming later. Without further ado, let's get cooking. Okay, so what I'm going to do, folks, I'm going to make an onion paste. I have two medium-sized onions. In this onion paste, I'm going to add a couple of handfuls of coriander. Okay, so what I have here is about 25 almonds. What I did, they had the skins on, so I soaked them in hot water for about 10 minutes and easy to get the skins off. So just a small tip if you didn't know that before. I have about 5 cloves of garlic and a good thumb-sized piece of ginger. Probably that would probably equate to about a tablespoon and a half of ginger and 2 tablespoons of garlic. I have 3 green chilies. I have taken most of the seeds out, there's a few left in. So I'm going to blitz that. Okay folks, so here's the onion, almond, garlic, ginger and coriander paste and chilies, I should say, as well, the green chilies. So that's about kind of the consistency that I want from it. You know, I don't want it too fine. What I will do with this, maybe this will go straight into oil. I might actually heat it, I'll say, in the microwave just for a few seconds. I'll cover it obviously so it doesn't splatter everywhere, just to give it start the cooking process a tiny bit. So that's that. And just here to the side, if you can actually see that, this is just some of the remnants I couldn't get out from the blender. So I will be using water in this, so giving this a bit of a swirl, get all the flavour going in it. So folks, not necessarily, I would say, professional. There will be yogurt go into this, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to marinate this in a couple of tablespoons of yogurt. Just a half a teaspoon probably of black pepper and roughly about a teaspoon of salt. I am going to just mix it in roughly. I'm not going to worry about it being too coated, so roughly say about half a teaspoon of black pepper. That should be enough, I think. And roughly about a teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to let this sit in the fridge just for probably about 20 minutes or so. There we are. Just roughly coat it. There we are. There we are. And my old usual, I actually hit the sink this time. You probably heard that clatter. That was me throwing the spoon. Okay folks, so what I have in the pot here is about 4 tablespoonfuls just of vegetable oil. So I'm adding in a piece of cassia bark. Again, not something that you need to put into this. I'm adding a star anise. Again, maybe not overly traditional. Just let that cook ever so slightly. And now to get my trusty chef spoon. So just really to extract the flavour out of this, to be honest. So this could go in at the end if you wish, and done with ghee, which I don't have. So what I'm going to add in here is roughly a teaspoon of cumin seed. I'm going to sprinkle that in. And the thing about it is I'm as blind as a bat because I'm just after opening the packet of cumin seeds, not realising I'd taken my jar out. So turn this down just to a medium heat. I don't want the cumin seeds burning. It's really only a game to bring the flavour out. What I did do, I heated this in the microwave just to start it off. So in with the almond, onion, coriander, green chilli and ginger paste. I'm going to turn this down to now a medium and just keep stirring this. I may need to add just a tiny taste of water, and what I will do, as I said earlier, use some of the water, and just squirt it around the blender so I can get those tiny bits of the paste out that I couldn't get. So there we go, into the first taste of water. Put that down now to medium high. The smell is absolutely super. And remember, I had roughly about, what did I say, I think it was 25 almonds that I put into this as well. I might add a tiny taste more of just pure almond paste. Or I have here almond powder. which is just ground almond. I might add a teaspoon or a tablespoon, I should say, of that in. So I just want to cook this onion off, and I'll be back with you very shortly. Okay, so the onions have been cooking, or the onion paste and chilli paste and whatever you want to call it, has been cooking probably for about 5 to 6 minutes. You're obviously not looking this to go brown. So back with my trusty little pink spatula that I stole off my wife, just to make sure I get the little bit of coated chicken in. I'm going to turn this down to a low, just because hopefully the yogurt in this doesn't split on me. As I say, I will add a tiny bit more yogurt in, probably another 2 tablespoons. And when I've got chicken here, I am going to make this a chicken and prawn white korma. So there we are. Scrape all those bits from the side. I don't want anything to go to waste in this at all. So what I'm using is 700 grams of it's chicken thigh. I prefer chicken thighs. So I'm going to turn this up a tiny bit, and I'm going to add the slightest taste of water. There we are. I'm going to say, I'll call that a splash. I'm going to turn this to a medium to high heat. I have here, and I'm not using green cardamom pods, I'm using black this evening. You can use green. The black I don't think are as strong as green. So even at this will be quite strong. So if you want, one recipe I've looked at, it has about 18 green cardamoms. They can be quite overpowering, or not overpowering, but they're quite strong. And people like that. And if you're not for the first time, maybe just don't put as many cardamom pods. So I put in 14 black cardamoms in there. So, and I just slightly give them a bash, release the flavour. I'm just going to let that cook. I will keep an eye on it. So I have that on a medium high. I'm going to put the lid on. Oh, great! I'm using a proper lid this evening. The last one was rather large. So that's the lid on. I let that cook probably for about 15 minutes or so, and then I can add in some of the other ingredients. Just checking there. I have given it a stir. So again, I'm just going to let it. That's that just after 5 minutes. So again, as I say, another 10, maybe even 12 minutes or so, but just keep an eye on it from time to time. Okay folks, so something I did forget, apologies for this. So it's a tablespoon of coriander seeds. Don't worry, these will be well cooked down. So it's not toasted, I didn't toast them, it was the same with the cumin seed. So apologies for that one, something I missed out on. What I'm now going to add in, a level teaspoon of garam masala. I don't want this turning yellow, so just a small, and I mean small, like quarter of a teaspoon of turmeric. And I'm going to add in, which I'm going to crush, is about 3/4 of a tablespoon. Well, actually, it's probably about a teaspoon, to be honest. A teaspoon of kasuri methi or fenugreek leaves. And as you can see, there's plenty of liquid in the pot here. I've tasted it, and I'm going to add another teaspoon of salt. And it's rock salt I'm using. Use any type of salt you wish. And roughly about another half teaspoon of black pepper. There's already half teaspoon in with the yogurt and a teaspoon of salt earlier with the yogurt and chicken. And great, I'm actually getting to use for the first time in ages, or first time ever, is fresh coriander in this as well, which I did with the paste that I made up earlier. Because folks in here don't like fresh coriander, but I put it into something the other evening. They kind of ever so slightly tasted it and went, oh, that's fine, but as long as it's cooked. So there we go. Anyway, something that's been missing out of my curries right at the end, so I will put in some this evening and cook it through a wee bit for those weak people and people that don't like it in this house. Tough on them. Anyhow, I'm adding in roughly about 1.5 cups of milk, just cold milk, and this smells absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to cook this again on medium high, varying towards near high. And if it does kind of boil off, I still have some of that reserved water from the paste. Okay, so the lid back on. There we go, and it smells glorious, it really does. Okay, so it's cooking away. What I'm going to do is, I want a bit more almond flavour to this. I'm going to add 2 heaped tablespoons of ground almond powder, and it'll also make it a tiny wee bit on the sweet side. This isn't like the a normal korma that you get. Remember, it's a white korma. Just adding that in. I am going to have to be careful. I'm going to turn this to a medium heat because the almond powder definitely, and again, even with the almond in that paste, it can stick because it's nut based. So I will just keep again a good eye on this. I'm going to cover it up, let it cook away. I'll be back and I'll add some more yogurt in. Okay folks, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the heat off. Have a gas top stove. If you have an electric hob, I suggest maybe you remove it just off the hob. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple of more tablespoons of yogurt. Let's say I decided to marinate my chicken in yogurt, so this is probably obviously additional. So I've left this sitting out for a while. Just going to give it a bit of a stir. I'm going to add 1, 2, there we are, 2.5. I'm just going to mix that in well. I would say I have checked this and I can feel a wee bit sticking to the bottom, so that's only again because of the almonds that were in the paste and also then that additional almond powder that I put in. So just again keep a close eye to this. So while I'm here, I'm going to add in about roughly about 3/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. I have fresh nutmeg here, so bear with me. I'm just going to grate it. Probably actually coming up with a more teaspoon, but 3/4 of a teaspoon. That should do it. Give that a bit of a mix. And I know that chicken is done. I'm just going to taste this. Obviously, I want the nutmeg going through it. A lovely spice to this. Not overly powering. As you're seeing, there wasn't that much spice went into it. It's more flavours, the cumin, the garam masala. Okay, there's about 3 green chilies in it. I don't want to make it too hot for the folks here. They don't like overly hot, spicy curries. As I say, I do. So I'm going to turn it back on. I'm going to medium low. Just let that cook away because the folks are out. When my little darling of a wife gets back with my stepson Jesse and stepdaughter Amy, I'm in the process of running a bath for her. So there we are, I get brownie points. Okay folks, so back. Lucky enough I thought this was beginning to stick a little bit at the bottom, but hey ho, thank goodness. Not one, thank goodness for that. So again, this is my version and you don't have to do this. I'm just going to add in roughly about 120 mils of heavy cream, double cream on this. Just mix it round. I've turned it off, just off the heat for the time being, and that's sticking. As I said, I should have kept my eye on it. Was down to the almonds in it, and then also the almond powder, so that paste. And this would have happened even probably without adding the almond powder in it. So that's that. What I'm going to do is add just a tiny taste of water. Put this on a very low simmer because the chicken is cooked. I tasted this and it tastes absolutely wonderful. As I say, this is not like a korma you'll get in your certainly Indian restaurants here in Northern Ireland. I've yet to see a white korma being cooked. I'm going to add, as I say, it's a chicken and prawn korma. So in with my prawns. These are raw. I have drained these out as much as possible. I don't want a fishy taste of it, and it won't be that for sure. So let those cook gently. I'm going to put it to a low, put the lid back on, and the prawns in this can just cook nicely. There we are, lid on, and I will keep a better eye on it. Just let that just cook gently. Okay folks, so I'm going to add in, the curry is just cooking nicely. For the first time ever, you will see Whitebeard's Kitchen adding in coriander. Good God, I'm allowed to this evening. So I'm going to mix that through so there's no complaints. And people going, bleh. Goodness gracious. Anyway, it's the weak people that I live with, not my fault. But anyhow, they'll get a shot this evening. I'll probably be throwing all the coriander leaves, gladly dumped in my way. So there we are, and I can see that the prawns are turning a nice slightly pink colour. Give this a good stir. As I say, I have this on low to medium, burning more on the low end. I don't want to burn anything after this little white korma. I've done this before, first time obviously for the video. Lid back on again, and I can then go and put my rice on. So folks, for my little rice, so what I'm going to do, a little bit of a treat just for a change. The thing that's dearer than gold, I'll do a saffron rice for this. Just a few strands in, probably that looks a bit measly. That should give it, I hope, a little bit of colour, and also the taste from the saffron itself. As you can see, I treat this with great care. That will be that. So here we are, folks. That's the chicken and prawn white korma cooked. So ready now, very shortly to go out in the plate, just waiting on the rice. Oh, and just to make it a real British almost takeaway or Irish takeaway, what I've done is I've done a few skinny fries. Why not? It is a Saturday evening. So here we are, folks, on a plate, as I say, rough and ready with me, my white korma, white chicken and prawn korma with a few fries and saffron rice. So I hope you like the recipe. If you do, please do try this. The white korma is lovely. It's not sweet, it's more savoury compared to the normal korma that we know of here in Ireland and in the UK. So do give me a thumbs up if you do like it, and subscribe to the channel. Well folks, for the moment of truth, I did taste it earlier and I have to say it is delicious, but it's more aromatic than it is full of spice. It is savoury, bit of a mix with the chicken and prawn together.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But do give that a thumbs up, and I've just heard, you maybe heard Amy in the background there. So Amy's giving it a thumbs up as well, and she's not one of the spicy people in the house like me, where, as I've said before, I would eat hot coals. But this is really, really lovely. Do try it, and I hope you do like the recipe. So I'm going to say, from me, from Whitebeard's Kitchen, look after yourself, have a good evening, weekend, wherever you are in the world. So rock on, see you soon, and thanks for watching.